very, very quiet. I'm hunting sequels.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to the first real quick flick reviews, where I spend less than, 5 hours of your time going on about a schlock film and review something I've seen recently. In this case, I'm talking about A Quiet Place Part 2, which I caught on the big screen recently at the local cinema. And now, if you haven't seen the first Quiet Place, go ahead and just stop watching now, because I will have some spoilers right off the bat here, because my first thought about this film is, are we sure Quentin Tarantino had nothing to do with this series? We're 2 films deep now, where Emily Blunt is running around barefoot the entire time, and you're telling me Tarantino wasn't at least an associate producer on this? Please. Another of my concerning going from the first film to the second film here is, you're telling me that Jim from The Office didn't survive, but a woman did? No misogyny intended here, folks. I'm just saying Jim has all this experience playing the quiet game at work, and every woman I know can't help but tell me every minute detail of their day at work while I'm sitting there in a haze of whiskey and substance abuse. Even the librarian ladies I know, okay? 15 minutes goes by and they just can't help but ask me, what do you plan on actually doing with your life, Hawk? Anyhow, all that being said, we open up on this new A Quiet Place Part 2 with a little small town flashback, so our old buddy Jim, who also directed this of course once again, he can get involved just a little bit. Anyhow, remember in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, when the Walmart brand New York Yankees game gets delayed because of a scary, evil batch of, dust? Yeah, well, screw that haboob crap in this flick, because we got an alien invasion and it's interrupting a Little League game. We also got a little flip on the old public transportation as a bus tries to catch Emily Blunt. We also get a chance to introduce Cillian Murphy into this. He's more or less just playing the shivering soldier from Dunkirk once again. He's all hidden away in Freddy Krueger's summer home, just waiting for some kids to hide in a boiler room. Enter Emily Blunt and her kids from the first flick. And from there on, it's basically just one glorious suspense setup after another. We catch a train to Busan. We go to the docks that dreaded sundown. And of course, nothing goes right at any of these places, and pretty much all these sequences more or less work. In fact, keeping with the Nolan references from earlier, a lot of the cross-cutting in this flick really reminds me of some of the best work that a great editor, Lee Smith, did in some of those earlier Nolan blockbusters. In particular, I was thinking about some of the cross-cutting in some sequences in The Dark Knight, which of course was a big influence on Skyfall just, a few years later after that. But it's just really smooth cross-cutting like God, William Friedkin, and an old-fashioned movie la intended. Which leads me into the sound design in this flick, which I know it's ironic that a series called A Quiet Place has, very important sound design, but it does. I didn't catch the first flick in a theater. I caught it at home, but I watched it on Dolby Atmos, while a friend of mine watched the first one on a plane, and he didn't like it, and I'm like, of course you didn't like it. You didn't experience it. And so much of the immersiveness comes from the sound design and the sound mix and the universe, the characters having to be quiet, and of course the deficiencies with certain characters and such. In fact, these flicks kind of remind me a lot of what maybe Hitchcock would like in modern filmmaking. He loved to do weird things, or at least they were weird at the time, trying to make a film look like it was cut in, one single take, or doing a bottle movie, or building an entire film sound design with diegetic sound, or, maybe doing a whole murder sequences without a single bit of suspense music. So it reminds me of something that Hitchcock maybe would dig or make. Whether that's sacrilegious to you probably depends on if you like these movies or not. I did. In fact, I'm giving this one 4 Winotas. I'm telling you, if you're all vaxxed and waxed and ready to rock, you should head out and see it on the big screen with a good sound system, the way it was intended to be seen, because it does come. Highly recommended.
HawkSchlock,